So I played a couple of leagues with Mono Red, and I had Urbrass's Forge in the sideboard as an anti-attrition sideboard card, right? But the card actually just felt so good that I thought, what if we just try to play it on turn 2 off of Llanowar Elves? What happens then? I started with that concept, right? And we'll just go one by one. We'll talk about Urbrass's Forge. So for 3 mana, you get a red artifact. It says at the beginning of combat on your turn, you put an oil counter on this. And then you get an X1 where X is the number of oil counters, and that X1 has trample and haste. So you start with a 1/1, then you get a 2/1, then a 3/1. And so at some point, your goal, I think, is to figure out a way to do something useful with the body. And you can have ways to sacrifice it, like Cat Oven, like you can have Witch's Oven, you can have Deadly Dispute, things of that nature. But I want to try to hammer it home in like a more aggressive shell to really put the big trampling body to good use. And so we're doing it in a couple different ways. For starters, we're trying out Bushwhack, a card that is near and dear to my heart because when this card was first printed, to me, it signified 2 things. An understanding that cards like Prey Upon will never be constructed playable, as well as Lay of the Land will never again be constructed playable. And in the past, we've had things like Lay of the Land, Attune with Ether, Traverse the Ulvenwald, things that, even Oath of Nissa, like things that come down on for 1 mana and like dig for lands, but also have, other abilities kind of tagged on to it. Bushwhack is very similar to this, where it's look for a thing or prey upon. And I think that that's like a really underexplored card. And I think that with Urbrass Forge, not only can you hit your land drops early, but you just have this engine that gives you creatures that you don't care if they die. You don't care if your opponent plays a fatal push on them. You don't care if your opponent kills the creature from the forge in response to the bushwhack. It doesn't matter. But when your opponent is tapped out, or if they don't have anything going on, bushwhack can be used in a number of other ways too. Using it to fight creatures with your Werewolf Pack Leader, your Reckless Stormseeker, your Bone Crusher Giants, even Eska's Chariot. But digging for that second red mana is also imperative in some spots, specifically when you're holding on to Glorybringer and Embercleave. So Glorybringer, we're playing this at the top end over something like Sky Sovereign because we're not playing a Crone War and we're not playing Companion, so we don't need Gigantha. We don't have restrictions, so I want to play what I consider to be the best 5-drop of the bunch. And to me, Glorybringer has always been that powerful 5-drop. The only problem is that it turns off your ability to play the Companions. And so Glorybringer, when combined with Werewolf Pack Leader and Embercleave, means that we have more reasons to not play Gigantha. And because Pack Leader and Embercleave are both even, we can't play Obosh either, which is a bit of a bummer. But Embercleave, I think, is another card that's going to work really well in this strategy. It comes down, you can put it on the Urbrass Forge creature and just do massive damage as the game progresses. I think Embercleave is going to be our knockout blow against all of our non-interactive opponents like Mono Green Devotion. It's going to be a way for us to just deal massive amounts of damage that many of our opponents won't be able to stop. Our early curves of turn 1 elf into turn 2 3-drop, like a Reckless Stormseeker, are quite strong, but I do expect many of our creatures to get killed along the way by Fatal Push and 1-mana removal spells. And so the curve of Werewolf Pack Leader into Reckless Stormseeker is one that happens quite a bit. And it happens in such a way where you play a turn 2 Pack Leader, turn 3 the Stormseeker gives itself haste, and then you attack with both and you get to draw a card off Werewolf Pack Leader. The pack tactics there are very, very strong. So that's kind of the gist of the deck. We play these elves. We play these powerful 3-drops, Urbrass's Forge, Reckless Stormseeker, even Bone Crusher Giant. And our goal essentially is to leverage those cards into the late game so that we can win longer games while also having the ability to constrict the speed of the game based on things like Embercleave, Reckless Stormseeker, Urbrass Forge churning up, right, if we get it early enough. We can choose to be a little interactive with things like Bone Crusher Giant Stomp, as well as Glorybringer's Exert ability to deal damage. We can also go wide, thanks to Eska's Chariot, giving us 2 cat tokens and being a 4/4. The curve of turn 2 Reckless Stormseeker, turn 3 Chariot, is honestly one that a lot of decks have trouble beating, and it's one of the reasons why we're playing Stormseeker, because of both Pack Leader and Chariot. We've cut Lovestruck Beast from the deck. I don't know that that's correct, but that's what we did in order to make room for Urbrass Forge. Our sideboard, we have 2 copies of Abrade. This is to help out against artifacts and such. 4 copies of Rending Volley, as well as 2 copies of Scavenging Ooze. This is going to be our package against Greasefang, but Rending Volley comes in against a number of other decks as well. Mono White, Blue White Spirits, things of that nature. 2 copies of Alpine Moon. This is going to be primarily for Lotus Field. I could see it coming in in a couple other matchups, but I don't think it's going to be that worthwhile or good. This is maybe a controversial one. 4 copies of Roast. I think Shield Red, the Apocalypse, is quite bad for us. And so I have 4 copies of a card that kills it for 2 mana in the hopes that we draw it and are able to deal with it cleanly. The 3rd Embercleave can come in against Lotus Field or other decks like Mono Green that are not interactive. I think it could be excellent for closing games in those matchups where we don't really have any business winning. And then lastly, Scavenging Ooze, obviously anti-Greasefang for eating the graveyard, but pretty good against other graveyard-related strategies, even good against Mono Red. We can board it in. I had a 3rd for a while, but I think 2's the money. This is Gruul Urbrash's Forge. Green-Red Forge, Gruul Forge. Let's call it Gruul Forge. This is Gruul Forge. We just built this deck. Let's play a league. I would love to play first. No companion, huh? We'll keep. Assuming my elf's going to die, we have the ability to stomp on 2. I don't really want to take damage. And the turn 1 Turn Timber doesn't turn off any of my plays. That's kind of the reason why we're playing 4 Turn Timber. That's a spicy stream title? Oh, no. Alright, Fatal Push my guy. Makes sense. We'll play Crag Crown just to hold up Stomp in case they're playing Jace. And then we'll play Stormseeker on our turn probably, but maybe we'll play Bone Crusher. Alright, so it looks like they're blue-black control. This is bait. I don't think we're going to have targets for Stomp, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it at face in case they have Censor Spell Pierce. Okay, so now we get to resolve Stormseeker and probably hit, and it might be difficult for them to kill. And even if they have the answer, they might not have answer to the second one. This could be Rogues, now that we've seen more of their deck. Yep. So this doesn't have Death Touch yet. Take the 1. I guess the Spell Pierce should have tipped it off pretty well, huh? Alright, so 1 here. 1 here. Attack for 10, I guess. No respect for them, huh? Mastermind. Okay, we get milled for 2. Next turn, we'll just start by attacking with both, and then depending on how they block, we can Embercleave. We don't need to Embercleave. We have lethal presenting. Maybe, Brett. I don't think that the Bushwhacks are going to be lacking good targets. And when they are, we can just turn them into lands for the later turns. But you're probably right. I just feel like we needed one more thing. We'll play the land, so in case they kill one of the Storm Charge Slashers, we can still Embercleave. Alright, so we'll make them both 5s. We'll just make them act first, right? So we attack for 10. Even with 2 blocks, it's lethal. Go for the throat? Sure. Alright, well, even if they have a counterspell here, it's okay. Because they still take 5. They had nothing and they died. Very cool. Rending Volley can come in. It doesn't kill the 1-drop, but it kills all their 2-drops. Rending Volley and a Braid both okay. I don't think Embercleave's that good, honestly. They have a lot of bounce and removal and stuff. While it was lethal there, any 2 damage spell would have been better, right? Stomp would have been better. Shock would have been the same. That won't always be the case, but with how much removal they're going to have after sideboard, I don't even know that we want a bunch of Rending Volleys and Braids. But if we ended up trimming back on some stuff in order to fit, we'd have to trim Embercleave, things that are non-interactive, I think. I don't think this is a good Forge matchup. Maybe we just cut these 6. Bring in D6. But Forge and Embercleave are like what we're testing, but they're more for like heavy attrition. And our opponent is attrition oriented, so maybe it's good. But maybe we just go Embercleave for Scoos. No one creature they have is that particularly important. So maybe that's something to keep in mind. But Scoos is okay. Maybe we'll just be the aggressor. We'll just be really threat dense. Not sure. Could cut Bushwhack, since it's unlikely we'll be able to use it to kill something, but it can still go get lands, so... Like here in this hand is kind of awkward, but I'm assuming that both our elves are going to die. My biggest concern is that we just have very little flood protection. I think most decks have a lot of flood protection, but we don't. Well, I'm going to play the Stormseeker on 2 and just hope they don't have an answer. Petty Theft? Okay. Alright, we'll give it to the Stormseeker. If they have another Petty Theft, that's fine, right? I don't want to attack with Elvish Mystic because the 1-2 flash messes it up. Alright, I might offer the trade of like Bushwhack Elf for the Brazen Borrower next turn. I don't know that I'll need to, though. The rest of my Bushwhack. No! No! Luckily, Borrower can't really do anything. Nighthawk Scavenger. Oh no. God, I want to draw Glorybringer there so bad. Okay, here we go. We have post-combat Bushwhack with an elf. Alright, Shield Red. Oh my god, I just didn't even realize this was in their deck. Or forgot, or whatever. I don't know. Not great. I guess we can offer a block. If they attack, we go block. Give it a little 5-3 swapperoo. I really can't afford to board and roast in the matchup, unfortunately. I think Shieldred's like a 2 of at the top end. Doing pretty good, Jess. How are you? Pay to win, baby. Shieldred's just like another card that's just kind of a nightmare for all parties involved. Just egregiously overproduced or whatever. If they play a second one, I'm going to be very sad. All right, we need to draw a big boy. I'm going to get man screwed this game, though, watch. They just, like, kill my elf. I go green on this, play pack leader, and then just never draw another land and die. Thoughtseize. Dang it. I'm going to play this on red. I don't think I can afford to play it on green and play pack leader. I think I'd rather just hold it anyway and just hope they don't have another removal spell. Plus, this pushes me harder towards like Chariot if we get to. The rest, sure. So they'll take Chariot probably. So we'll get to resolve Stormseeker probably and smash with it, which is nice. Yeah, I just don't really enjoy drafting very much, Tom. But the goal of the stream and the Patreon coming up is going to be to mirror the RCQ trajectory. So if the RCQs go standard, we play standard. If they go modern, we go modern. So that's kind of where I'm at. We'll like work on decks in different formats whenever we find cool stuff to play. Whenever there's like downtime and stuff, we'll maybe come back to Pioneer then. And we're gonna be on Pioneer for a while. Do I play into Spell Pierce? I don't think I have it. I'm just gonna play it. Wow. So lucky, dude. Literally 3 perfect interactive pieces for my draw. 3 perfect 1-man interactive pieces. I could have played around it, I guess, but I just didn't like. I don't think playing around it's correct. If they don't have it, they're dead. And if they do have it, we're still playing the game. And if I play Stormseeker, I like that. Maybe they have like, I don't know. Stormseeker just doesn't apply enough pressure there, in my opinion. So our pack leader, see if they have Drown and Lock or whatever for it. Play Scoos. I just want to use all 4 of my mana this turn if we can. Next turn we can do Pack Tactics probably, unless they kill the pack leader. I think the new Narset is just good. I don't know if it's good in specifically the decks you're talking about, but I do think it is just generically good. All right, well, we'll play the Stormseeker. We'll give it haste. We'll attack with both. They'll trade probably. Does not have first strike. We'll draw a card. If we draw a land, we can stomp. Okay, wrong land, but that's okay. I don't think I'm going to play the Boseiju. I will. I will play Boseiju Scoots, I guess. I do think that they should maybe block, but if they don't, that's fine. Like, this is a huge flying lifelinker. Great. That's perfect. All right, so now we'll play Scavenging Ooze, and we have the ability to stomp this next turn. I'll just take the 3, right? Oh, man. I fucking hate this card, dude. I just, like... Thoughtseize is interesting. They might take the Bushwhack. If they do, then we can just naturally draw a land and get their ass. I don't think that there's a better choice for them than the Bushwhack, so let's hope that we draw a land. Punish them. Nice. Let's get the Forge down. Just get it churning. It's only 1 damage versus 3, but it'll pump out more over time, especially if they're being interactive. Strategic planning is fine, so that means they're Atraxa. Dongs TV, thanks for the follow. It's Atraxa. Neoform Atraxa. I bet you $1 million. You want to take the bet? Okay, I bet you $1,000 that it's Neoform Atraxa. 1,000. Do you want to take the bet? Or so they took Stormseeker. So if they just play a 4/4, so they probably have stub backup. Can't even really attack. All right. Well, unfortunately, we cannot use Stormseeker to target the Forge. We have to choose before. Where does the time go? I don't know, Bad Chef. Thanks for the resub, my friend. I'm pretty sure we're going to get stubbed. If we get stubbed into Neoform, there's not a lot we can do. They didn't block. Okay, maybe I should have attacked with everything. Maybe I should have just played Bone Crusher. They're at 3. Okay, so now if they go for I didn't realize they were so low on life. Maybe I just fucked up. They definitely should have blocked. I guess they just don't have stub. But now if they go for Neoform, we have the Stomp. I don't know. I guess we'll never know what deck they are. We'll never know what deck they are, chat. Yo! This is not a Forge matchup. I don't think. I don't think it's a Bone Crusher matchup either. The roasts are like more speculative. I think that they're good-ish. The Bushwhacks can maybe come out as well. The Bushwhacks are like one of those, I want to try it, but I don't know if it's actually good. I wish that there was like a mono green deck, like the mono green deck from like Standard a year or two ago, I think would have loved Bushwhack. Okay, 2 6-landers. I don't think we're going to win this game. We'll keep this hand. Got to put back 2. Perfect curve of Elf Pack Leader Chariot. We should put back our Elf Stormseeker Chariot. I think we just keep the potential Nut when we're on the 5-carder. Do you have thoughts on which creativity build is best right now? I'm having trouble setting on one for Dallas. I think that the best creativity build right now is just the Xenaghost Worm one. But I think the Gearhulk one is cool, and it plays a lot more like a control deck. And I know BCS recently did well with his take on the Gearhulk version. So they found Neoform, but it doesn't do a ton. So next turn, I guess they'll just strategic planning from the graveyard. Do you like Attracts of Creativity? I don't like Attracts of Creativity, but I like Attracts of Transmog. If we draw a land for Chariot, we're in business. Fatal Push on the Stormseeker is possible thanks to the founding. Tasker. Okay, well. Is that good? Let's go get a second mountain. So we can get our second red source online. Xenaghost Wormman got some updates over the weekend to play 2 worms and 0 Xenaghost, but then 4 Bitter Reunion. Yeah, I saw that. I'm not a huge fan of that one, but I understand why they're doing it, because it's better against Rakdos to do 2 worms, and you want to be able to go creativity for 1 in a lot of spots. All right, here's Tassiger. So we'll make a 5-power Chariot and smash. This is a really good draw for a mull to 5. Can't complain too much. If they do attract me next turn, though, I don't really have much recourse. They're trading. That's great news for me. Let's just hope they don't wrath me, I guess. I feel like them blocking there is a sign of weakness. Because if they had Neoform, they would just take it and then Neoform next turn. Is this Hooting Mandrills? Maybe another Tassiger, but still. If this is all they got, we could just attack with everybody, right? They're dead on board because they're at 8. We just put a point on this. Well, we'll roast him anyway, just to show him his boss. Another 1-lander, triple elf. It's a little awkward. We're on the play, so I'm going to keep. We can just like spew elves early. If they die, great. We hopefully can naturally draw lands, but 4 mana sources and some 4-drops. Plus, if we naturally hit our land drop on 2 and don't get our elf killed, we can forge. I know, I can almost pay my bills. It's great. Being able to almost pay. So here's the thing, chat. Star City let go of most of their riders last year. And I've been kind of like out on my own, floating in the darkness, trying to make my way solo. And it's been very difficult. But I feel like I'm finally getting the breathing room, you know? But I'm still like, I'm only making, I don't know, 2K a month or something, so it's really not even that much. But it makes me feel good, and it lets me know that like what I'm doing is doing right? Like I'm just slowly climbing. The Rona stuff was gangbusters. People fucking love the Rona deck. And I'm not sure that it's even that good, but I think it's good, but I'm not 100% that it's good. I seem to beat most things I play. I seem to 4-1 a lot when I play Rona, and I don't 4-1 with very much else. Even like the top meta decks or whatever, and This is the thing that I'm really kind of sick of in this format, to be frank. The old Fatal Push Thoughtseize just makes it so difficult to get any traction in the game. Yeah, the elves are really strong too, though. Like that isn't to say that like elves aren't like obviously overpowered as well. Personally, I would like to see a wider array of mana creatures. Back when Noble Hierarch and Birds were in standard, we had literally Knight of the Reliquary was like our super powerful top end. And now our top end is fucking bonkers. Our top end is just fucking, if you don't kill the elves, the 3-drops kill you on their own. Like they don't need help, you know? It's just ridiculous. We're drawing lands now, boys. All right, well, we'll target the cats. It's all working. So their last 2 cards are just nothing. I have no idea what their last 2 cards even are. Shoulder being a 4, not a 5, blows your mind. I mean, it doesn't have it enters the battlefield effect. I think Shieldred is honestly a powerful card, but it's a powerful card that I wish fit into the format in such a way that obliterating Bolt and other 2-mana removal killed it more easily. I don't like that one of the only ways to kill it for 2 mana in red is Roast. I can't think of many others I've tried my hardest to come up with like a plan that beats that specifically. Okay, if they're playing Waste Not, do I expect Shieldred, chat? Do I expect Shieldred? So they have 4 Shieldred. Okay, so I'll just bring in Roasts to kill those because they're annoying. Bushwhack is whatever. Embercleave can maybe come out for more threats like Scoos just to have higher threat density. Okay, sounds fine. The this will be a good showing of Urbrass Forge if it sticks, which it should. I'm gonna play Besage on 1, I think. I will. Let's play it on 2. I'm gonna play Carplusion on 1. Oh, now I don't know. They'll probably just make me discard both forges, and then it just doesn't matter, right? Take my elf. No. All right. Well, it's an information leak, but I don't really want to play the Beseiju, and I don't really want to take damage, so we'll play the Forest. Nykthos, huh? Waste Not. That's probably bad for us. Again, I don't really want to take damage, so let's just give a little more information to our opponent. I don't think Nykthos is very good in the deck, so I'm not really that worried about it. They have very few real permanents. I don't really understand why they would have it in their deck. I say Duress, they draw a card. If I stick the Forge, oh yeah, baby, let's go. It's gonna be really hard for them to beat the Forge, I think. I just don't know what's in their deck to turn it on. Phyrexian Arena, maybe? Liliana Last Hope. Okay, if they just shrink this, that's fine. We'll make 2, 3. I can channel Beseiju. No, let's channel Soken's-On, right? So I get 2 black. I didn't even. Oh my god. Please don't be able to use the mana. Alright, well, we can still kill the Lily, which is good. We have the Rose for Shieldred if they go land Shieldred. That's your big payoff. Rose has been looking good out of the sideboard so far. Spirits get -1, -1. I don't think Witch's Vengeance is very good against my deck. Most of my creatures are different types. No, not a fucking 4-drop. Drawing a card here is so good. I'm just going to play it. That way it's hard for them to get any value out of Waste Not. Forge is unbeatable. Yeah, against decks that have Thoughtseize push or whatever, I think Forge is great. Yeah, I'm not sure that you need anything to make the token better, though, right? It just gets better over time. That's like kind of the whole point. It's just a damage engine. And it seems like it's a good play off of a turn 1 elf, turn 2 that. God damn it, again. I can't beat this deck to save my life. And they always have the Scout, too, right? Usually I can beat the Light Paws or whatever. I just can't beat Scout. I don't know, man. Maybe I can get them with Embercleave if they don't gain a bunch of life, but I doubt it. Probably just dead. Especially with Curious Obsession. The blue builds with Curious Obsession are so disgusting, honestly. What deck even beats this? What deck beats this? I need to know. Blue-white? Is blue-white control the only thing that beats Glade Cover Scout deck? Edicts? I have been really digging Edicts lately. I guess I can just trade here if they don't give it first strike, but they always have first strike? Creativity? Sure. Creativity probably beats the shit out of it. Although they do get probably like Spell Pierce or something after board to stop that. But the Curious Obsession builds, I think, are really cool. We played against it a lot recently, and I never feel like I'm winning. Oh my god. That fucking dumpster, dude. Again, if they don't have Glade Cover, I think we want the Rending Volleys for basically all their other threats. Forge can come out. It's not really a Forge matchup. We have enough lands where I don't know if we need to Bushwhack. Let's just go and do it. It's because we have Stomps. If they got turn 1 Glade Cover Scout, I'm going to throw up. But they just do it every time. Power Sack's awesome. It's one of my favorite decks I built. I was hoping the whatchamacallits will be good in there. The Omnixilis. Maybe we go Gensack with Omnixilis, and that works with all the damage thingies. Well, luckily we drew this, so we can do this now. Maybe I should have stomped DOT and played Bone Crusher instead, but maybe not. What's your opinion on Voice in the deck? You play Absent and Paper? How do you like it, Mito? I'm glad that y'all picked it up and are enjoying it, honestly. Voice is good? Nice. Yeah, I like the fact that it has like such value when you sack it. It's really cool to me. Are you up to 3 extraction specialists or 4 extraction specialists, or are you still on normal or whatever? See, if they don't have Glade Clover Scout, things are okay. But every time they play Glade Clover Scout, we just can't interact, right? It's dodge. You're on 3. 3 makes the Cocos a lot better, but you have to like cut a Varan or something. Are you on 1 Varan or 2? All right, we can kill them a million ways, but we don't want to show them that we have Embercleave in our deck. I should have mulligan. I'm just autopiloting in my brain. Oh my god, I should have played Carplusian Forests. Man, I'm just not on it today. Not playing well and getting my ass kicked. Wonderful combo. Never punished. Never punished once in my life. It's the problem within the festivities is that there's exactly one turn window where it does anything. And then after that, it doesn't do anything anymore. Raggy. Well, now we're dead, probably. I could have attacked with Chariot. I wanted to give him incentive to block, but making another token was probably better. How the mono redless do? We just got beat by Rakdos, and I just didn't care anymore. But here's the thing, man. Like, now there's just nothing to do. Like, if you don't kill the light pause, you lose the game. Right? Even if I had back to nature, like, back to nature stops them for a turn, I would need significant pressure and then back to nature. Maybe it's enough. Maybe the turn they go for the attack, if you have back to nature, it just kills them. And if the deck's, like, popular enough on MTGO, maybe. I just never felt like it was worthwhile. I will kill all that glitters. We'll take, I don't know, 5 or 6 or whatever. We know one of their 2 cards in hand is Gigantha. Next turn we can attack with Chariot, Pack Leader, draw a card, and then if they block... Oh, fuck. I guess Embercleave's not even that good. Oh, I guess I should have hit it to turn off first strike. That's a good call. I ought to keep that in mind. I killed the glitter because it's easier for them to light pause and do a backup. I need to put a stop on my own combat here. Let's go untapped mountain. So let's go buff you. Just doesn't matter, right? I'm just dead. I can't Embercleave though, so this is probably bad, but I just want to draw a card. We get to deal a damage. Plus, if they suspect another disenchant for the Ethereal Armor, it could be bad for them. We know their last card's Gigantha as well. Block the elf. Okay. Alright, here we go. Maybe if I didn't animate the Chariot, we could have just declared attacks. And then but the Embercleave would have got hit with the Boseiju, so it wouldn't have mattered. Ooh, this hand's interesting. I'm gonna keep for sure. We're on the draw. We have the potential for a turn 2 forge if we draw red and our elf doesn't die. We are on the draw, but we do have bushwhack to get red, so we go turn 1 elf, turn 2 bushwhack stomp in a pinch. Your life for a bird of paradise? I know, I know. We got a ton of green-red duels, though, so it's a bit easier now than it's been in the past. Lord of mama, it's Friday night. Alright, that's fine. Go get the forge down. Ooh, what if they just burn Blood Tithe on my elf here? That'd be kind of lit. Alright, we'll take the 3 for sure. See what they do. Maybe they'll play another Harvester. Alright, so let's start with the Forge trigger, see what they do. They just have main deck Abrade or Decay. Tear Asunder. Well, that's the saddest story ever told, man. Right, but Rattle Chains doesn't see play in decks besides Spirits because it is a really efficient body on its own that has protection, whereas the Cryptomancer is an inefficient body on its own with protection, but the protection is still fine. And it's in like more shit. I don't know if this is right, but we're gonna do it. Yeah, I'll just let you join Pyganti. And so if you want to join, it costs money, and that's fine. But I feel like giving folks the ability to join that I like is important. All right, remind me, chat, after this game, we're gonna go to Twitter and talk about something. We'd really appreciate that, Pyganti. Also, I'm pretty sure the European one is before ours, so it'll be very valuable information. All right, well, there's not much reason to haste the Stormseeker over a cat token. Does they hit for the same amount? And I can spread my damage a bit better. I think I want to hold up Stomp. I think ours, Atlanta, is like, I'm not sure exactly when. We're getting pretty low in life. We can chump block if we need to. We have Stomp ×2. Next turn, we can play the Bone Crusher and give it haste. Maybe I should want Stomp, play it, activate. And then that's more damage too, I think. Alright, let's Stomp face. Okay, winning game 1 there feels great. They had the Tear Asunder early for my thing. We'll bring in the 4 roasts. Maybe a couple Scoozies. Trim the Ember Cleavies. Trim the Bushies. On the draw, trimming Bushwhack I think is just fine in general. Just like rarely need the help with the mana. Alright, turn on Castle Locthwain. Well, now even if they kill our first elf, the second elf can still push us to Chariots. And we have even if both elves die, we have the natural curve to Urbrass Forge. Bang. What you got? Duress. Alright. If they take Chariot over Forge, that probably means they have an answer to Forge, but I think that's okay. If I draw a 2-drop, though, I might go Elf 2-drop instead of playing the Forge, because that means they might have Tear Asunder. But it's important to get the Forge down as fast as possible, because it takes time to get online. It's funny, though, instead of playing against Rakdos, where Forge is great, we played against Jund, that has answers to the Forge, and it's a lot worse. But it's still okay, right? It has not been as impactful as I thought it would be. I'll say that. So they do take the Forge. Let's see if they have a second land, and if they do, if they can kill the elf or not. Or maybe discard. Alright, shock him with Overgrown Tomb. You know what that means. Alright, let's see if this elf survives, so we can play this Chariot next turn. Comes the Harvester. Alright, no kill spell for the elf, please. And even if they kill Chariot, we have a backup one. Maybe this is Extinction Event on even? Either way, I think I can take it if I want to. I kind of want to try to block with Chariot. If they Extinction Event me, they're not going to hit the elf. If they just have removal for Chariot, that's fine. I get to not crew next turn and just attack with the tokens. Trading with token, I think, is like level 0. If all they do is fucking stomp Chariot after damage, that's so good for me. If it's second red source anger, that's really bad. Ritual Soot. Okay, well the Chariot didn't die anyway. So no matter what I did, the block was actually good then, right? Because the Soot was going to kill everything except Chariot. Fable. Alright, let's draw a land, please. Alright, so we can crew Buffett so that if they double block it trades. And I'm going to attack with both. Copy the kitty cats. Double block's fine. Trading with Stormseeker's fine. Yeah, that's fine. No cards in hand. We have Glorybringer next turn if we draw the land. Otherwise, we just Stormseeker plus 1,000,000 tokens. Oh, I guess I didn't need to buff it. That was silly. For some reason, I thought I needed the extra power, but I didn't. I could have buffed something else, I guess. Maybe I should have actually buffed this and used this to crew. Putting this in the way was maybe a mistake. So they're at 13. They have one blocker here. If we have Glorybringer, I'll probably smite it. Lance. Oh, yeah. Baby doll. Glory banger time. First one of the league. Bang. So this is a bunch of damage coming through. That's a GG, chat. 3 and 2. Not the best showing. So let's talk about the cards that we put in the deck that I wanted to test. First off, Bushwhack felt fine. Bushwhack was like, hey, early on I can use it to go get a land. Later on I can maybe use it to kill something. I didn't get to use it with the Urbrass Forge at all, which I was kind of sad about. Lacking Lovestruck Beast, I think, is a big reason why the Bushwhack didn't look great. And if we just cut Urbrass Forge for Lovestruck Beast, I think the Bushwhack would be significantly better. As far as Glorybringer is concerned, Glorybringer was decent. You know, it's expensive, you know, but we were able to hit those land drops pretty easily because of Bushwhack, because of 8 elves, things like that. Chariot was standout all-star. Pack leader was quite good. Urbrass Forge maybe should just be a sideboard card. I don't know that Gruul Vehicles needs a card that's really good against Rakdos, but the thought of Llanowar Elf into Urbrass Forge got me as excited as I used to be about Elf into Goblin Rabble Master. These days, I don't think Goblin Rabble Master is that good because it's just prone to stomp. But I don't think Forge is bad. I think that the important thing will be finding a deck where Forge can be fuel, where the body is useful every turn with like decks like Priest of Forgotten Gods, for example. It might be good there. Could be good in like Cat Oven as another thing to sack to Village Rites and such. Overall, I think the deck is okay, not great. We went 3-2. Our losses were to Bogles. We can't beat that deck. And I lost to Rogues when I made a bad no block. I think that if those two things we could have, we could have done something about the no block thing, but the Bogles is just going to be one of those matchups where unless you come packed with specific interaction, it's going to be a disaster, especially if you're an interactive deck at all. Things like Lotus Field, I think, are naturally good against them, but not our deck for sure. Anywho, deck looked pretty good. Maybe not great, but I liked some of the cards. I liked some of the directions. We're just trying a bunch of different stuff and see if anything sticks. Bushwhack, maybe with some help could come back and be good. Urbrass Forge, though, probably not. Probably just going to be Love Struck Beast. That's it. Embercleave was cool. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I'm Tandy. Make sure to hit the follow button, and we'll see you next time. Yeah.